This is my review on the first episode of The Connors on ABC. I did not watch last night's episode on ABC. I had other better things to watch, like the NBA basketball games. But I just recently watched the first episode online. In the episode, everyone's still grieving over Roseanne's death. Her funeral was 3 weeks ago. I like how Harris said, "Do we have to keep talking about death? Because it makes me think of grandma." Thank you, Harris. You got a good point. Stop talking about death. Jackie was saying to Darlene that Roseanne would have wanted her to take over the house, and then her mother disagreed, and she felt like it would have killed Roseanne. And then she said, "Well, you killed her anyway, so continue." And then she said that it's no mother should bury their own child. And then, I mean, it was funny. It was funny when Jackie said, Mom, you're going to see everyone die. And then when you die, you're going to be buried by a robot." That was pretty funny. The episode did have a few laughs. Like, Jackie was pretty funny the entire episode. What she said to her mom was pretty funny. Um, let's see. Oh, there was the one where Becky and Darlene, they were trying to do some bills or whatever. Becky couldn't do it because of what she heard about how the way her mom died. So she said to Darlene she had to go to work. And Darlene said, "Okay, well, we have to make sure that we finish up the bills later." And then Becky said she couldn't do it Friday night as well because she said she has a date. And then Darlene said, "Okay, well, how about Saturday morning?" It was funny when Becky said, "I told you I have a date Friday night." So that includes early Saturday morning. Becky was like, "What part of I have a date on Friday night do you not understand?" I thought I was clear with myself. They also have DJ's wife. She finally makes her appearance in person. We find out that Jackie, she talks to Dan outside of the house. Apparently, she finds out from the autopsy that Roseanne didn't die of a heart attack and that she actually died of a drug overdose. Dan is shocked. He can't believe it because he's saying that's impossible. But apparently, Becky found some painkillers in Dan and Roseanne's closet. And the prescription painkillers that Roseanne got were from Marcy Bellinger. And then Jackie and Arlene, they found all these other painkillers like in the drawers, in the kitchen, and then there was some in the freezer. What? I mean, Roseanne unfortunately had a big problem. She was just sneaking crap. So obviously Dan is pissed. So he's at the bar having a drink on the house. Then Darlene and Becky show up. Darlene confronts Dan about this sign that says, "Thank you, Marcy Bellinger, for killing my wife, Roseanne." And Darlene feels that he's out of line, even though she understands that he's upset. But Dan is all for it. She deserves it and whatnot. So then Marcy, she shows up at the house. Dan is already pissed. He's like, she got some nerve showing up. And then Marcy was saying that if I would have known that her addiction was so bad, I wouldn't have given it to her in the first place. Everybody hates her. They're looking at her. She can't eat, and she has to deal with this always. But come to find out, Roseanne was getting painkillers not just from Marcy, but from other people. And it's like, what the hell? I just didn't like the fact that they had Roseanne get killed off because of a drug overdose. I thought that was pretty low. So Jackie, she's having a hard time with the kitchen. She talking about there's no place for the corn holders. And then she gets overwhelmed and she's trying her best to keep up with the family and make sure that they're fine and taken care of. Darlene gets her a hug. And then Darlene tells her it hurts. And then Jackie tells her, "I know it's going to hurt for a while." But then Darlene said, "No, I mean, I'm talking about the corn holders are, are hurting me." Oh, my goodness. So then towards the end of the episode, Becky and Darlene are going at it like sisters. And Darlene talks about, you think you're so queen because you got your boobs in first. And then Becky got on Darlene about her not growing any boobs. Oh, Becky, you cold for that. Then DJ got on them talking about he sucked the life out of them growing up. And then Becky and Darlene pretending and acting like they didn't hear DJ. Becky goes, Darlene, did you hear something? Darlene goes, no, I didn't. And then they try to get Harris involved. And I like how Harris said, don't get me involved in your weird mind games. So then towards the end, they start having some breakfast or whatever as the Roseanne theme song is being played. And it just didn't feel right without hearing Roseanne's iconic laugh. You know, ha 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 ha. That's like that 70s show not having Kitty, where you can't hear Kitty's laugh. Kitty also has a classic, funny, iconic laugh, just like Roseanne. You know how Kitty laughs. You know how Kitty Foreman laughs on that 70s show. I mean, the first episode, it was all right. It did have a few funny moments, but I still don't see the show lasting long. Just bring back Roseanne and just have her come back. Continue with season 11 of Roseanne. And yes, she killed off. You guys are probably thinking, how will that work? But it worked with John Goodman. Remember when Dan was killed off in the series finale of season 9 of Roseanne? He was alive and kicking in season 10. Have an episode where she come back and she wakes up. Dan wakes her up. Dan's like, Rosie, you up? You okay? For a minute there, I thought you died. And I could see Roseanne saying something like, don't be ridiculous, you dumbass. When it comes to this show, I'm immortal. Matter of fact, speaking of Roseanne, she recently lashed out about the Connors. Roseanne just says, I ain't dead, bitches. Okay, Roseanne, you tell them. Oh, man, that's right. You're not dead. That was funny. If you happen to saw the first episode of the Connors, tell me your thoughts. See ya.